Hey everyone, and a huge welcome to all you dedicated teachers across Bangladesh. Today, we're going to dive into something that's right at the core of everything you do, assessment. We know how hard you work, and this is all about making sure that incredible effort really shines through in your students' results, using a toolkit we've built just for you.
You know that feeling, right? That moment of pure frustration when you're looking at the marks on a test and they just don't match the spark of understanding you saw in the classroom. Well, you are definitely not alone. And the best part is, this is a problem we can absolutely solve.
So, let's just completely rethink what assessment is for a second. It's not just some final grade at the end of a unit. No, it's the critical bridge that connects what we teach to what our students are actually learning. When we get it right, it doesn't just give us a mark. It gives us a roadmap that tells us exactly what to teach next.
Okay, let's get into this disconnect. Because this common headache, it's almost never about a lack of effort from you or your students. More often than not, it comes down to something called alignment, a kind of hidden mismatch between what was taught in class and what was actually tested on the paper.
Think about it like this. If you have a math problem that's wrapped up in 3 long, really complicated sentences, you might actually be testing a student's reading speed more than their ability to calculate a ratio. And when our questions accidentally measure the wrong thing, the evidence we get back is just cloudy. It's misleading.
So our job is to remove this fog. Now, there's a technical name for this fog in assessment design. It's called construct irrelevant difficulty. That's a mouthful, right? But all it really means is anything that makes a question hard for reasons that have nothing to do with the actual concept you're trying to measure. Let's look at how we can clear it out.
I absolutely love this visual because it just nails the point. A great assessment should be a staircase, not a wall. A staircase builds a student's confidence, one step at a time, and it shows you exactly which step they might be stumbling on. A wall? A wall just stops them cold. It only tells you right or wrong, but it never explains why.
So how do we actually build that staircase? Well, we can use something called the RUART framework. It's a really simple 5-step model for thinking that makes sure your questions follow a logical path, starting with simple recall, moving to understanding, then applying, reasoning, and all the way up to transferring that knowledge to a brand new situation.
And all of these powerful principles have been organized into a practical and totally free resource from us at Evidence-Based Teacher Development, or EBTD. And it's been designed from the ground up specifically for teachers and school leaders right here in Bangladesh.
The guide itself is broken down into 3 really clear phases. First up, you've got design. That's all about writing questions that give you evidence you can actually trust. Phase 2 is equity, which is about making sure your assessments are fair for every single student. And finally, Phase 3, implementation. This is where you use that evidence to make real, powerful changes in your teaching. Believe me, this is about strengthening your professional judgment, not just piling on more paperwork. Okay, so let's see what this looks like out in the wild. These are not just abstract theories. Teachers all across Bangladesh are already putting these ideas to work and completely transforming their classrooms.
So, meet Miss Amin, a science teacher in Dhaka. She was looking over her Year 8 quiz and had a light bulb moment. She realized she was asking students to remember a definition, that's recall, and then immediately leap to explaining a really complex scientific process, that's reasoning, with no steps in between. It was a huge jump. So she used the RUART framework to rebuild her quiz. And just look at the difference. It's so clear, right? She added those crucial understand and apply questions to build that staircase. Now the quiz actually follows the path of learning, which makes it way more fair and a much more accurate test of what her students know. And here's the real payoff. Miss Amin's quote, it just says it all. Her assessment became a diagnostic map. It didn't just give her a list of marks. It showed her exactly where each student was on their own learning journey. So she knew with total clarity where to focus the very next lesson.
Or take Mr. Rahman, a maths teacher over in Rajshahi. He noticed a lot of his students were getting stuck on ratio problems. But when he took a closer look, he realized the problem wasn't the math at all. The problem was that fog we talked about. Those long, wordy questions were testing his students' reading ability more than their math skills.
So he simplified the language, stripping away all that unnecessary difficulty. And his reflection here is so powerful. He didn't lower the bar for the math, he just removed the fog around it. He gave every student a fair chance to show him what they actually knew about ratios.
You see, when we design assessments this way, when we make them aligned, and progressive and fair, the entire system starts to click into place. Teachers teach with more clarity. Students finally understand what success actually looks like. The whole focus shifts from pressure to real, genuine progress. And marking, it stops being a chore and becomes a source of incredible insight.
So, the big question now is, how can you start making these exact same changes in your own classroom? How do you turn these big ideas into your day-to-day practice, starting, well, today?
Well, your first step could not be easier. You can download the complete EBTD guide to better assessment right now. It is a comprehensive, evidence-based toolkit, and yes, it is 100% free for every teacher and leader in Bangladesh. It's jam-packed with examples, checklists, and all the practical strategies we've talked about. And if you want to keep going, to really dive deep, there are more ways to connect with us. You can join the EBTD newsletter for free monthly tips and tools sent right to you. You can share this guide with your colleagues and start building a real community of practice at your school. Or you can even register your interest for the full EBTD professional course to truly master these skills.
So, we'll leave you with this one big thought to chew on. What if every single assessment, every quiz, every test, every question wasn't a final judgment, but was actually a clear signpost, showing you and your students the very next step to take on the path to learning? With better assessment, that's not just a hopeful idea, it's a plan.